in, and we're here with um, Carl W. I should have asked you if I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Um, uh, Gruber? Gruber. Gruber. That's what I thought. Gru. Um, and Carl is a Carl. How long have you been practicing A Course in Miracles? I've been there. I've had think I bought the book in 1993, and I finally finished the workbook lessons in 2007 for the first time. Um, so it took
Oh,
me
really?
took me a bit. A lot of people have said, "Do you think because you just weren't ready for it?" And I think that's the opposite. I think I was all too ready for it, but my ego did not want what was coming, even a little bit, even just a slight reduction. Um, and I had a lot to work through. I had a 10-year drinking spree that I had to work through at the same time, and then I think I needed to settle into some sobriety afterwards for a bit. But it all worked out pretty perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Of the ACI.
It is not. How did you come about to be a law of attraction coach?
Household with religion, never went to church, never had anything spiritual. I was just kind of a purveyor of the 3 P's: positive, possibility, power thinking. I read the Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, the grandfather of positive thinking, and went on to all those other things: Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and to Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyers and Deepak Chopra's, and all during with Dr. Robert.
Mm-hmm.
The Quantum Success Coaching Academy, and the long course, and I did it, and it's turned out I'm a great mentor of mine. I do that, and for me, I don't miracles.
Do you find any the dichotomy between the two, or does it seem to flow very seamlessly between what the course teaches and?
Well, yeah, I'm not. I have a book that I wrote in 20. what we focus on, law of attraction personified. What we think about is given to us, and if we think about it consistently,
so literally we could think of it as because we are projecting the world, then we're creating all the things that comes with projection. When we have a choice,
absolutely.
when we're aligned with love, when we're aligned with the Holy Spirit, now we're extending love, and we attract that which is vibrating at the level of love.
Yeah, and because because the law of attraction will work for you doing things without love. Like I said, be it good or bad, well, most of the world operates functioning, page 1 of the course is, so if you align with love, that's where you align with love, with the good. And
I like that. Hey, Carl, I'm getting people in the chat saying that the connection is really bad and getting worse. Could any way you could try logging out and coming back in, and we'll see if that works.
I'll give it a shot. Okay, sorry, but I don't know what else to tell
That's
you.
okay.
All right, let's see if I do this. How do I get out of this?
Should be a little X. There we go. Guys, we're going to try again. Carl is logging out. We're going to log back in. Yeah, it's a bad connection here. Can you guys hear me okay? So I'm just checking, is it on my end? Hey, Daisy. Hey, Jeff. Tiger King. How's everything now? Visually, it looks good. I can't hear you. Do you have it on mute? Let's see. Can you guys hear Carl, or is it just me? Yeah, no audio. Let's try now. The connection. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, no sound is coming through on my end, but visually the connection's better. I wonder if we try one more time, if everything will line up. So yeah, visually it looked like the connection was better, guys. We're trying one more time. No sound. It's okay. Let me send you. I'm gonna. Kat says, "Thank you for being so patient," and I agree. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this sound. Visually, we're better, so it's kind of strange. And there's no little mute button anywhere. Uh, do you want to? Oh, there's Carl. Carl said hi. What about Kat says, is there a microphone button that might have accidentally been hit? Nope. Oh, Carl, do you want to reschedule? So Carl is going to try something. I apologize, guys, because we were having a marvelous conversation. Um, no sound. Um, do you want to reschedule, Carl? Do you want to send me a message, a messenger, and we can reschedule if you want? So I don't know. I think Carl has logged out. You still here, Carl, or did you log out? We're going to try to reschedule. Let me give you a little bit of a recap of what we were talking about. Carl is a Course Miracles student. Every student, remember, is a teacher. We teach what we most need to learn. And he is also a law of attraction coach. And we were talking about the alignment. Whether we attract, our thoughts attract either good or bad without distinction. So when we are aligned with the ego, law of attraction works. We are attracting ego stuff. When we are aligned with the Holy Spirit, now we're attracting things that work for us. But either way, the law of attraction is working. I think this is Carl sending me a message. One second. One second. All right, guys. We're going to try again for tomorrow, which means Eddie says, what's the discussion topic? Well, I had a guest, and we were going to talk about Course Miracles and the law of attraction, but we had so many technical issues that it just wasn't working. So we're going to try again tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be a MsBlipper day. MsBlipper very graciously said that if I ever had guests on, she'd be happy to reschedule. So we're going to do that. Um, so, guys, thank you for your patience. The last time he was up, visually, there was no more glitches. Visually, everything was clicking, but just no sound was coming through. He sent me messages, said that the mic was definitely on, so I don't know. I don't know. So, um, a little sad. Carl says, or I'm sorry, Kat says, oh, that was weird. It was weird. Kat says, YouTube and this Swedish show, I'm having it too. Oh, wow. Okay. So we're going to try again tomorrow, guys. Same topic, same guest. It's going to be just as fascinating. We were talking about, it was a gentleman guest, and we were talking about A Course of Miracles, and we were talking about, by the way, Carl has a great channel. He did apply up there. He said hi to the chat. It is World Awakening, World Awakenings. It is the Fast Track to Enlightenment podcast. His main mission is law of attraction life coach and spiritual student counselor. Awesome. So, guys, make sure that you go check our friend Carl out. And hopefully tomorrow everything's going to work out. There's Carl. Carl says, apology, guys. I run my own podcast and never have any issues like this. Everything in the right way at the right time. Absolutely. Carl, I was just talking about your YouTube channel. I was reading the description. Absolutely love it. Guys, make sure you subscribe to our friend Carl. Hey, Carl, are you still in the chat? Could you, if you're still there, if you could type the name of your book in, and people might be able to find it. So, Carl says, World Awakening. It's the fast track to YouTube. Let me mod you up, Carl. That way people will easily be able to click and get to know you. Guys, if Carl wants to spend 5 or 10 minutes, if you got a question about the law of attraction, hey, Adam. Adam's going to be up tonight hanging out with us, Tiger King. So, Carl said he's still in the chat. Take advantage, guys. Ask a question as long as he's still here. I will read it out loud. I'll read his answer out loud. Okay, Tiger King, if you still want to come up. Yeah, again, guys, we were having a great conversation. And I was looking forward to talking to Carl because we got a new year coming up. And who wouldn't want to use law of attraction, use a universal cosmic principle to help us align with perhaps just an easier way to live? You know, I mentioned in Hawaiian shamanism, Paul Purcell wrote a book. I don't remember the actual title, but it is about wishing well, and it's about using Hawaiian shamanism as wish fulfilling purpose. But it talks about wishes having a dark side to them. You might wish for a very, very, very long life. You might wish to live to be 120, which who knows could be a possibility, right? But your last 40 years, you might be bedridden. You might be in ill health and barely struggling to get by. So we want to be careful on what we are wishing for, what we're manifesting, and what we're aligned with. And this is what Carl and I were talking about. If we are using law of attraction from an egoic level, we're getting egoic stuff, which on that level of form, on the level of the body, might seem exactly what we want, exactly what we need. If Carl's still hanging out, our friend Adam says, Carl, do you use mudras in manifesting? Interesting. It's okay, Tiger King. Carl says, true spirituality and law of attraction, a beautiful symbiotic relationship on Amazon. I'm going to copy and paste that. And also, guys, I would place the pinned message. This is the name of Carl's book. So on the level of form, we might think, what's the matter with, hey, getting more form stuff, more ego stuff, right? Here's the problem. The problem is nothing the ego has ever wanted has ever given us any lasting sense of peace. Carl says, mudras as in repetition. Hey, Cool Jay, how are you? I'm thinking Adam's thinking the mudras as in like gestures, hand mudras and intention maybe. Tiger King says, why not read the messages out in live chat? What have I done? Please, you haven't done anything, Tiger King. We've talked about this. We've talked about it incessantly, actually. Good to see you too, Cool Jay. Thanks for coming back, my friend. So it's interesting to consider everything we have in our life right now, we actually have manifested. All the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the great relationships, all the broken relationships. Carl says, intentions, of course, although I have been practicing the holy instant consistently. I don't know what day MsBlipper is going to be on, Tiger King. Adam says, I vaguely heard allowing and manifesting. I like that. Hey, MsBlipper. MsBlipper, if it's okay with you, do you mind if we reschedule for tomorrow afternoon? Anna says hi to MsBlipper. Kat says, Adam, I can see how some of my behavior blocks my blessings, especially the language I use. Evan says, do you have a TV? I do have a TV. Cody says, MsBlipper, I think Tiger King just manifested you using what he learned here today. So, the holy instant. Remember that tomorrow, and let's ask Carl how the holy instant aligns with setting an intention. Um, you know, in Vedic mantra meditation, intentions are sankalpa, is what it's called in Sanskrit. Very important concept. Carl says a holy instant says that you only need a little willingness to allow the Holy Spirit to help miracles become natural and effortless. This, of course, extends to manifesting all the good in love. I always love that line, a little willingness. It's used a few times in the course. All right, Kat says that I have a lot of willingness. Now what? Man, I'm just thinking that our conversation would be rocking right now. We could try it again, guys. Um, the link is still open, and I got at least another hour. So I'm wondering about the that willingness and that we were talking about this the other day with MsBlipper. She was pointing out, thank you, Chef Mary. The word surrender. Hey, blueberries, 72 blueberries is here. The word surrender is not used at all in A Course in Miracles. Although, they do talk about that letting go. So it's all about connotation, I think. We're going to try again, guys. Fifth time's a charm? No, no sound. Shame, because the image is so crystal clear. It was perfect. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out by tomorrow. We'll support you, Chef Mary. You got it. We're that close, guys. We are that close. We got the visual worked out. Now we just got to get the audio. I don't know how to do any of that, Evan. It's technically above my pay grade. This paper says holy instant is perfect communication. So, and this is what Carl was saying about holy instant and intention. Holy instant is perfect communication. So with perfect communication are that intention, and it has to be. Here's my guess. And again, all these questions, guys, hopefully we'll be addressing tomorrow. It has to be, I don't think any intention that is not aligned with the Holy Spirit survives contact with the Holy Spirit, right? Because the Holy Spirit only recognizes that which is of the Holy Spirit. Only recognizes, it can only act upon, right? Ms. Phipps says it's because surrender might seem sacrifice. Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit aren't into sacrifice. Tiger King says, manifested means that you use your intention to call forth MsBlipper. She heard you in the field of infinite possibilities, infinite potentiality, and responded by showing up. "72 Blueberry says, no sound for now. I'm going to call to Florida. Hope you have good communication, my friend. Kat says, I would like a revelation. So I would have a little taste of what I'm not giving up. You can understand that. Hey, does anyone want to come up and see if the sound's working for YouTube? Hey, Tiger King, everyone's being nice. Miss Whip says that's the idea: Christ to Christ, kingdom to kingdom, Holy Spirit to Holy Spirit, love to love, peace to peace. Beautifully said. Adam says surrender to me is I don't know. It's not in my hands. That's what it is. That's why I like to use the word. I fully understand what MsBlipper means, and I've heard other people mention that as well. For me, it's saying that my way has not worked at all. And I am literally surrendering my small egoic wants, demands, please, bargaining for getting me what has never worked and things that, as it turns out, I've never wanted. Hey, Adam.
Sound check.
Sound check. It's working.
Peace be with all.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that.
Okay.
You're coming up tonight, right?
Yes, so I'm going to leave now.
All right. Thank you.
Bless
I appreciate that.
Sure.
Hey, MsBlipper. I will send the link. Do you want to come up and talk for a bit now? Because I was going to see if we could reschedule for tomorrow. Link is on its way. I find myself sort of unprepared to have a conversation because I was so geared up, excited. There you go, MsBlipper. Guys, make sure you check out. You know what? I wanted to ask Mark about running too, because he's a runner. MsBlipper says 1 moment. All right, guys. So we will have MsBlipper as a guest. Tiger King says, "Hey, Tiger King, this is for you because you were upset that you would not get a chance to hang out with MsBlipper." Semper says it's not a passive giving up, but an active release of the ego's illusions of control to allow higher intelligence to operate through you. Yes, you summed that up perfectly, Sniper. Beautifully said. To surrender, you continue to take action, but remain completely unattached to the outcome, trusting the natural flow of existence. I absolutely love that. Hey, Yasha, how are you? Miss Pippa, I want to get the fishbowl too. You hear that, Tiger King? Tiger King says, good, can't wait. She's queen of the channel. Well, we have several queens of our channel. Miss Flipper is certainly one of them. My cat just went haywire. Literally. Cool J says, good description, Squirrel. For me, it's to not meddle with anything unnecessarily. Yes, I love that too, Cool J. That is to accept each moment as it is. That's my motto for wildlife filming. Non-interference. Here she is, fishbowl in hand, answers at the ready. Wisdom,
Hello.
wisdom, and insights ready to be dispensed.
I was so happy. I gotta turn my computer off just a second. I was so happy because this it was hitting so much about what I've been working on all day today and yesterday too. So very happy about the Holy Instant business.
All right, let's hear it. Holy instant.
Well, it actually I want to begin with who is your guest? That Cat, you had her on the other day. She had blonde hair, and Cat said she had a pixie. Um,
Oh.
Big smile, Swedish, I think.
Yep, she was Swedish,
Mm-hmm.
and that was. Give me 1 second, as I want to make sure that I get her name 100%.
I want to say Jenna or something.
Yes,
I'm not.
Jenny Maria.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I was listening to her. Loved the meeting. I thought it was a really interesting meeting, and then she mentioned a lesson. So I'm at the very end of the workbook now, and so this last week before New Year's is just the same lesson repeated every day. And those of you who know me know I'm kind of a little bit of a language nut, and it's difficult because the pronouns change. So let me get my book here. So it's about the Holy Instant. Let's see what I got here. This Holy Instant would I give to you, be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. Now, when she read that, wow, Jesus was trusting her. Was trusting her that she was going to give him peace, which made me think of you because you've spoken a lot about the development of trust and
Right.
the teacher's manual, and it just never, for some reason in all these years, it never occurred to me that that the development of trust was going both ways. That meaning it's not me just developing my trust. It is that me developing my trust with God, with love, with the process, with the Course in Miracles, with forgiveness, with basically everything. And but it never occurred to me that that was going on in the other direction too.
Right. What how did that resonate with you?
Kind of in a beautiful way. It reminds me a little bit of something that I say sometimes in our conversations, which is like, what are we bringing to the altar? How are we bringing it to the altar? Are we coming to the altar with peace? Are we coming to the altar with love? Meaning that that's not irrelevant. How it's kind of like when people say it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's the awareness of kind of of your desire to communicate in a way that is or kind of to, I guess, acknowledge the power of gentleness. Does that make sense? Like it's got its own course.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you're coming up on, what do you have? Three more days, right?
I don't know. Yeah, it ends. It ends the last day of the year. Yeah.
Right. Um, I think I asked you. Um, so what's next, if anything?
Don't know.
Not that anything has to be.
No, I'll just continue as far as I know. I mean, I don't have a set plan. Of course, it's not the first time that I've not been going through the workbook lessons. I've done that before, but I'll most likely I'm going to continue meditating, continue, waking up in the morning and um, seeing things as a beginning. Trying to keep it fresh, within me.
Um, I told you what the Fishman said, how he was picking up the workbook lesson for the upteenth time for him.
Mm.
And he got not just a clear uh, suggestion, but an
Mhm.
actual voice
Sure.
saying it's time to put the book down.
Yeah.
And he did, but he was teaching a class for students who went through, had been through the workbook before, once or twice. You got to at least go through it once to really know the course. You got to at least go through it once.
Yeah, I think this is like my fourth time maybe through the workbook. Third or fourth time through the workbook. I haven't been through the workbook as many times as I've been through the text.
Right. His suggestion, and I didn't realize until fairly recently that now it seems like it was a suggestion for me. I don't think that he was saying, Eric, you should do this, but it really clearly right now feels like this is what I should do.
Mhm.
And it is lessons 201 to 220. And it even says at the beginning of those lessons, let me bring them up real quick. That each of these ideas alone would be sufficient for salvation, if it were truly learned. Each would be enough to give release to you and the world from every form of bondage and invite the memory of God to come again.
Mhm. That's been
Um,
an ongoing theme with you. The holistic, not holistic, what's the word? Holographic aspect.
Holographic. It
Yeah.
has
Mhm.
100%. And he also mentioned, really taking to heart lesson 25, uh, which I have, and it really is a game changer. I don't know what anything is for. Um,
Beautiful
because
one, right? It's like, again, keep it fresh, leave that
right,
door to your soul open. Yeah.
because it's so easy to latch on to our. Well, of course I know what this is for. I know this is a pen. It's for writing. Um, I know that you hurt me, and I'm perfectly entitled to my response or my reaction, for that matter. Um, but when we take it um, to the far end, that I don't know why a relationship unfolds the way it does. I don't know why someone did what they did.
Yeah, somewhere else in the course, and I don't ask me where because I can't tell you. But somewhere else in the course, it basically says that. It says like, don't even bother, trying to analyze the ego's motives for being an asshole. Like don't even try to, that it's very, very, very difficult to um unwind things by the ego looking at the ego. That is not how this thing works, basically. Better off being willing to listen to the light and just going with the book.
Right.
Happy to be mistaken, or evidently I've been mistaken. And so, what's the other picture?
It's such a freeing lesson, and it comes so
Truly.
early, 25 days in, and you're given to. It feels like you're given the secret to the universe. I don't know what anything's for. What a huge relief! That weight that you've been carrying. Now, of course, it only took me, half dozen times of going through the workbook,
Right.
to
20 years, right?
right to discover that, well, the secret's given away. But of course, the secret's also given away in the introduction to the entire course.
Sure it is. It's like we've made so many mental constructs of things, and
Um,
there's also, reasons why the ego does that, vroom, 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 invents all this stuff and comes up with all this like shadowy dream material or whatever, it kind of is a distraction to avoid what we're really afraid of, which is, the kind of powerful and inclusive nature of love of God, which is kind of big, so it can kind of seem daunting, I suppose. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if I told you this already. I think so. That there was a group in California that studied psychic phenomena and whatnot, and telepathy, things that happen, remote viewing, whatnot. Noetic sciences, I think it was called. And so they asked people if they'd ever had telepathic or what we would call synchronistic experiences, telepathic experiences, whatnot. And something like 89% of the people were like, yeah, I have had those kind of experiences. Like most people. And the most common feedback that they would get is, how do I get rid of it? They didn't want, what I'm saying, that's what I meant by daunting, is people can,
right.
have access to other dimensions or realities that are greater or more inclusive or more powerful, but there's, the ego is kind of going, yeah, no thanks. It's not letting me be boss. I want to be boss, right?
Um, so, yeah, it's interesting that also one of the things that Dove said is including the very last lessons, which is where you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a very, I won't use the word surrender, but the course brings us to a great big letting go with those words. Or how would you? I know that might not be the way that you would like to phrase it.
Yeah, I look at it a different way a little bit. I mean, it wouldn't be the way that I looked at it. No. I would get back to what we were talking about, when I first came on, which was the idea of, or when I was typing with the chat room, which is, teaching the kingdom to the kingdom, or um, Christ meeting Christ, like Christ wants to meet itself, basically. Or when you
Right.
and I talk, and we sometimes go, okay, what's this forgiveness, business? It's actually, the 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 choosing to see the face of Christ instead of whatever other kind of stuff we might be making up. And so this particular last lesson in the last week really emphasizes that in a big way. Like, first, it could seem, it's like Jesus saying he's trusting us, trusting us in path. Well, that can sound also like a daunting responsibility. Wait, what? Jesus is looking to us for peace? But it was the other way around.
Right.
But
Um,
fits very much in looking, the Holy Spirit looking to the Holy Spirit, or love looking to love, or trust looking to trust, or Christ looking to Christ, or teaching the kingdom to the kingdom, then it all works.
I
But
like the thought.
it isn't our plan. It isn't. We didn't make this up. But
Right.
we're not absent from it either. It's completely voluntary.
Several guests have mentioned the Holy Spirit meeting us exactly where we are.
Absolutely.
And I like thinking about that as trust extending itself to us to the extent that we're able to trust.
What a beautiful thought. Yeah.
Our friend 72 Blueberries,
Mhm.
72 Blueberries and I go way, way, way back together. I knew her back when she was just 2 blueberries.
Mhm.
She says, regarding the person I was just talking with on a call, we touched on not knowing the totality of anyone else's story and what fuels the words coming out from their thoughts, better to not judge them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's,
Not only is it better to not judge them, but when it comes to anybody's relationship to truth, we're not even really, I mean, we couldn't make a judgment that had any relation to truth. It's impossible because we don't know, like she said, the totality, or he, I don't know if it's he or she, the totality. We don't know their before, their after, their context. What we can do, though, is accept other people as being completely whole and equal to ourselves, as worthy of the love of God, and as um, members of the sonship. you know
um, let's see. Any questions, guys? MsBlipper? I was thinking, I'm thinking maybe I might do a members. I decided I'm going to do a lesson a day uh, on the morning live stream, and we'll try. Hopefully, I can commit to it for 365 days. Um, not not presenting it uh, as a practice for people, but just presenting the idea.
Mhm,
And if you have any questions about it, hopefully maybe it'll inspire someone to pick up the course themselves
mhm.
and go along with it. So this isn't to replace doing the lessons. It is sort of accompany the lessons.
Sure.
And then
Are you going chronologically, like
yeah,
from the beginning? Yeah.
I'll start New Year's Day
Lovely.
because I'm there anyway. You know,
Yeah.
so and I'm thinking once a week doing a members live stream where I'll talk about uh, the Dove Fishman plan of just focusing on those uh, 20 reviews uh, and the introduction, the ending, and lesson 25. And that's the whole plan. We'll go through um, each one of those reviews and then repeat it again.
Nice.
Thank you, Dean.
I like it. I've been thinking, just in one of my little tiny thoughts today was, I guess you guys all know that I'm becoming a grandmother for the first time. Woots woots, which is very exciting. But I was looking, so everything's like in my mind's like going boom, 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 even uselessly. But looking back on the life that I've lived so far, if you allow me a dip into the past, and you really are good at this, Yogi, in a way that I'm not. But if I could do my life all over again, one thing that I wish that I kept track of better was when I get into certain themes. Like I'll have a period, these 3 months or 4 months or 6 months, I've been on a theme, and they come and they go. But right now I'm very big into the holy instant. Yeah.
Right.
I'm into the holy instant, and I'm into of all things, Metatron's cube.
What's been playing on my mind
Mm, tell.
is the script is written,
Oh, okay.
and yet,
Backwards and forwards.
right, and yet, that doesn't mean we're stuck, because everything that is going to happen has already happened. But
True.
there's infinite scripts, and that through our practice of forgiveness, we can sort of upgrade.
Yeah,
Different.
it's the time you take is voluntary, you know, to arrive at the script that's written.
By
Because
the way,
we
Tiger
what?
King wants to know what you're doing on New Year's.
Oh, on New Year's, I'm keeping it very simple. I have a friend of mine who lives on a boat, and the boat is a couple of towns away in a town called Fiumicino, where there's a big port to Rome. Anyway, she's an old friend from Canada. I've known her, I don't know, 30 years or something. Anyway, she lives on the boat. She's tired of being on the boat. She doesn't want to be there near, so she's going to come to Rome for a visit. But we're not going to, because she has a bunk leg. She did something to her knee or something. She had an accident with her leg, so she can't walk too far, and so we're just going to be kind of local bums and maybe go someplace locally and have a glass of prosecco, but pretty much staying at home. She's not even drinking much, and she used to be a heavy drinker, so I'm glad about that. Yeah, so just taking it kind of light this year.
Cool. Hey, do you have any thoughts on spirit guides tricking people to reincarnate?
Do I have any thoughts on spirit guides tricking people?
And to reincarnate.
Yeah, I don't. Um, that's a really interesting question. No, I don't. Quite clearly, I think there is a whole range of possibilities when it comes to reincarnation, and I totally believe in reincarnation. But my belief in reincarnation is much like my belief in dreams. I don't think it always behaves the same way. So, just like there's a world of possibility in dreams, there's a world of possibilities turning around the idea of reincarnation. And the idea that the question that was asked, um, in my mind, I would put that in the the spirit being an egregore being something that kind of attaches or influences itself to us, to soul. And I personally don't, um, there's something to behold, and egregore are tricky, but the ego is tricky too. So, like, it all comes
Right.
out in the wash as far as I'm concerned.
I'd go back to what we were just talking about, the script being written, everything happening
Mhm,
at once,
mhm.
that there really is no one, if it's truly a spirit guide, there's no tricking. And who would be tricked? And
Exactly,
two,
exactly.
if the script is written, well, then it's, we forgive and we upgrade.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It all comes out in the wash.
Right. 72 Blueberry says, materially, I think reincarnation is like the recycle program, one form to the next, but I can't speak on spirit, energy, consciousness.
I can. I just think, I think that spirit is something amazing and powerful and beautiful. And I don't think spirit is the problem. I think it's all
Right.
the other stuff.
Right.
I
No.
I think it's mind. I think it's emotions. I think it's physicality. I think the difficulty is in another place than spirit. The difficulties. The
Right. Tiger King is wondering when people die, do they come back as something else or other person, reincarnation? That is my question to MsBlipper.
Me personally, when people, yes, people reincarnate as people, generally speaking. That's my belief anyway, but I know other people have other ideas, so.
Right.
Don't know.
I go back to, I'm going to keep circling back, at least for now, to with the holographic nature of things. There's no past life, there's future life, there's just life. And everything's happening at once. It's all
Yeah.
in a script. It depends on, so there's no past life. You don't have a past life. You have life.
It's in you.
Right.
You just read my mind. That was like what was going to come out of my mouth in the next time I opened it, which was, there are people who like to think and believe that everything's, happening all at once. You got all those lives that are simultaneously, together. They're not separate at all. Not now, even. Not in this instant.
Let's see. Raja Ace says he's the one who had asked about the tricked. That if the demiurge is real, then we are all in a state of a trapped soul.
Demiurge. Okay, we're getting into Gnosticism here, which
That's
is
what Cool J
Squirrel
was
said.
saying too.
Who was saying that?
LL Cool J. But he did it. He said it in a form of a rap when he said it.
Me personally, I don't think the demiurge is real, but what I do recognize is that even if it isn't real, hell, a lot of people believe it is real. Like everything else, like the ego, like me sitting here as a body in front of
you. Another thing, let's go back to the script is written. That is also very freeing. The script is written. So if in this script you have a belief in the demiurge and spiritual guys tricking you, that's the script that you're following. However, if you find the script no longer seems very agreeable to you, then, as you said, just let it come out in the wash. Keep forgiving, and you get to upgrade to a different script.
I want to, if you let me, Eric, what I would like to say is 2 words about the script and looking backwards, and it's already taken. When I read that idea about it's already happened, and what appears to be going forwards is actually going backwards. What I've done with that in my mind, and mind you, I might be completely off, but I might not be completely off at the same time, is that that's talking about the separation. It's like we're created by God. Okay, we are part of God's creation. We all are. All of creation is part of God's creation. Okay, and that anything else is something we imagined along the way. And so when the script's going in reverse, it just means that we've accepted like the atonement, which is the great undoing, the undoing in our minds, the undoing in our emotions and our attachments. And maybe that's the word that you would like better than surrender. Undoing, the great undoing, anything that might impede our returning our consciousness, our awareness to love's presence.
Perfect. I like it.
Okay.
Here, that reminds me of why I fell in love with the Course in Miracles. I have obviously a strong practice and interest in yoga.
Mhm.
I have an attraction towards Buddhism. I find that both are a little. They can seem sort of like a long path. Um, that in yoga, if you're following the 8 branches of yoga, you're practicing the ethical foundations, you're practicing the breath work, you're doing the asanas and withdrawal of the senses and meditation. Um, I love the directness and simplicity of Course in Miracles, and I think that's really why I fell in love with it. Was sure maybe all this is happening. Maybe there's trickster spirit guides, and maybe you feel like you are trapped here. Uh, Maybe there is a dome of imprisonment on this realm. Maybe all kinds of. But who cares?
Right. Well, is that the thing is that idea, whichever idea it is it an idea that brings peace? Is it an idea that seems to help you on your path with your awareness to the presence of love, to return basically? Because we're all going to return. So if you want to look at your ideas and ask whether those, ideas kind of line up and put them to the test, throw them out there too, and you know toss it
Right.
about, see if it stands, see if it you know they're like night lights. Ideas are like night lights, on your return. Yeah. But I guess if you let me be fundamental about it, we're ideas. That's it.
I like it. And if we are ideas, from which or from what do we sprout from?
God. We're ideas of God. We're God's ideas.
Um, that should bring, if we truly got that, that would bring a very deep sense of um, safety.
One would think, except we're also capable of using these great minds of ours to be deviant,
Right?
like to sidetrack, to procrastinate, to delay, to dance around. I guess the course says, and I kind of agree with this, that and it says that I think in the intro, I think it's even before everything else. It's like the big problem is the authority problem. We want to be boss, or the ego wants to be boss,
Right.
and it's not, you know, because it didn't create the universe.
But it can spend lifetime after lifetime after lifetime insisting that it is.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
But we
so a
don't have
couple,
to listen to it.
yeah, and that's again the simplicity of the course.
Right.
You can keep choosing the ego and getting ego stuff, or you could choose the Holy Spirit and get Holy Spirit stuff. Which one's going to make you happier? And our answer might be, well, can I have both? Or um, I don't know yet. Let me keep insisting upon, the ego. Maybe I'll get it right. Um, which is just the ego saying, well, keep it up. You'll get it this time. Don't keep dangling that carrot.
I return to the line of, like, I think a lot of people recognize that they are their own worst enemies, and that
Right.
is true. Their ego is their own worst enemy, and I have to ask myself at that point, okay, who's been kinder to me? Jesus and the Holy Spirit, or my ego? And my ego has been like the biggest bitch. Let me tell you, it's just been like
You
out
know, I noticed.
cold.
I noticed. I didn't want to say anything, Miss
All
Blipper.
right,
I was
thanks.
trying.
It's true.
My
It's
Holy
true.
Spirit
I
said,
can take it. I can
"Don't
take it. I
don't
can
point it
dish
out."
it out. I can take it.
Um, what is it? What's the line? Jesus says in the course, If you want to be like me, I will help. If you want to be different, I will wait. See if I can find it real quick. As I look this up, let's see. Ranja says, "How does a yogi get rid of bad energy from other people?" From a yogic perspective, the realization comes that there are no other people. There's just, if it's bad energy, and this is directly to the course as well. If there's bad energy, it's because I have bad energy in my mind. How do I deal with it? Same way we deal with everything. Forgiveness.
How does light deal with darkness? It just outshines it, you know.
I like that. If you want to be like me. It's one of my favorite lines, but I want to make sure I get it correct. If you want to be like, this is Jesus talking in the Course. If you want to be like me, I will help you knowing that we are alike. If you want to be different, I will wait until you change your mind.
I love that.
I do too.
Love that.
I only teach you. I can only teach you. I can teach you. Sorry, but only you can choose to listen to my teachings. How else can it be if God's kingdom is freedom? So
that
it's
very
such a
much connects into that line of infinite patience. Oh, infinite patience brings immediate results.
yes, another favorite, another all-time favorite.
Mm-mm.
I use that line forever to annoy people. And back in the day, Mocha would be like, "So you're gonna take the garbage out, right?" And I'd be like, "Infinite patience produces immediate results." And she's like, "That does not take the garbage out. Just get up off the couch." And then I would quote the Tao, "I need do nothing, and yet everything gets done." And she was just like, "Fine, fine, fine. I'll take the garbage out." And then people wonder, "Eric, why did you get divorced?" there's there's the answer right there. Let's see. I want to put read what our friend 72 Blueberry says. I feel that we use words and meanings that could eventually evolve in definition as experiences. Change and adaptation requires a different perspective. Love each person to have their own meaning.
Wow. Can you read that again back to me slowly? A little bit
Yep.
slower.
I feel we use words and meanings that could eventually evolve in definition as experiences change and adaptation requires a different perspective, i.e., love. Each person have their own meaning.
That's true.
And she continues on. I feel that we use words. Love has each person have their own meaning. Love, each person has their own meaning of love.
And I'd even add that, you know, with the experiences is that by all means, you know, stuff isn't just about words, it's about experiencing the thing. So whatever, you know, you're attributing to the word love, for example, put it out there in your experience, you know, give it a platform, give it time, see where it goes, you know, because I think that's we learn through experience.
Thanks. I like that. Our friend Ranja Ace says, do you believe, where did that go? Do you think the Old Testament and the New Testament are from the same God?
Are from the same what?
God.
I think both the Old Testament and the New Testament were written by men. And I think they were men who meant well, who were on a path and who were interested in our, you know, developing a relationship with God. But God has always been the same God, no matter what human beings do with God and how they might interpret God or rearrange it or control the narrative or try to control the narrative. So I don't know if that answers the question, but I do believe that God is one. I believe that God is true, and that the truth, by definition, is true across the board. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the truth.
Nice. Who was it that said man created God in his own image?
I don't know, but I've heard it. Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like something
who
John
said it.
Lennon would say. Sounds very John Lennon-ish.
It does.
Tiger King says, this is for Eric and MsBlipper. Please get back to this. Eric MsBlipper. Does American and Italy do they count down for New Year's Eve?
USA does. Down,
Right.
what's the Times Square? No, is that where the ball drops or whatever it is?
Yep.
Yeah, they do. In Italy, they're known for fireworks, and they set fireworks off from the rooftops. They're not particularly nice, pretty fireworks. They're just very loud. The animals hate them, and every year some people blow their fingers off.
Wow. That doesn't sound fun.
No, it isn't.
Hey, Nino. Nino, nice to see you, my friend. Sniper says, Cat and Jack, I hear you only drink wine from Chateau F. Du Pop. I can't read that. Du Pape.
Let me see if I can see what you're trying to read here. I'm so behind here. Is
Right
this
towards
recent?
the end.
Okay, the unicorn of white wine. I saw that. Okay, Cat and Jack, I hear you only drink white wine from Chateau Neuf du Pape. I don't
I
know.
have it on good authority that Cat only drinks wine from a box. That's what
Why?
I've heard.
She doesn't like bottles?
It's got to be from a box. The best wine always comes from a box.
I disagree.
Blueberry says, true, each of us give a word to a specific experience. It doesn't mean an experience will live up to the word. It was assigned a meaning too, originally or taught by those who influence our thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, words are symbols of symbols. So they aren't yet. I mean, there might be a time where words, it's not to say that they're not powerful, because they can be, but they remain symbols of symbols. It's the experience that is
I love what lesson was it where in the course we're told come before God empty-handed. Don't even bring the course with you.
Right.
Eventually, even the course will be rejected if you come to God saying, well, wait a minute, according to lesson whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to be this.
Mm-hmm.
And God just smiles.
One thing that I love, I don't know if I've talked to you about this with Chinese symbology, or most Asian languages that are written vertically rather than horizontally. In the symbology of it, they don't have a way of saying like a gray horse. Like it's just assumed that if I say a gray horse, that you naturally know what I'm talking about as a gray horse. They say, I see the horse is gray. That's what the symbols represent. I see the horse is gray. So it's throwing in that added like admittance of perception into the word, which is kind of a lovely thing, because it's kind of saying, hey, you might see it as a red horse or a green horse or have a different word for gray, or my gray is your purple. It's not being pushy about it.
So 72 Blueberry says, what does empty-handed mean? What does the course mean when it says come before God empty-handed?
Metaphorically, it means that you come to God with the decision to not how do I explain this? That's an excellent question. It's like not making assumptions,
Right.
without our mental assumptions. There's a tendency for um, the ego to want to bring God down to this level in the world. God has no interest in that. It is instead for us to rise up, and in that process, there's, generally speaking, quite a bit of undoing of mental baggage.
Right. See if I can find that. There we go. Here's explicit directions. I love explicit directions. I love it for workout programs. I love it for life instructions. I love it for my spirituality, and especially when it says simply do this, because I always find myself not okay. So simply do this. I can do
You
that.
think I have a fishbowl of imperatives? A fishbowl full.
Uh, Simply do this. Be still and lay aside all thoughts of what you are and what God is, all
Yep.
concepts you have learned about the world, all images you hold about yourself. Empty your mind of everything it thinks is either true or false, or good or bad, of every thought it judges worthy, and all the ideas of which it is ashamed. Hold on to nothing. Do not bring with you one thought the past has taught, nor one belief you've ever learned before from anything. Forget this world, forget this course, and come wholly empty hands onto your God.
Beautiful.
Yep. So, like you said,
Love it.
metaphorically, I'm letting go of all my ideas, all my thoughts. As
Yeah.
soon as I think I know what God is, then I've offered a description.
Right. It's like saying, I really don't care about my own dream right now.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Um, and as it also says in the course, we say God is, and then remain silent, because anything we say afterward would simply be a symbol of a symbol.
hmm How do you feel about this stuff? Like wherever you have two or more coming together in his name, he's there. He's in the course too. It's both in the church, in the Bible, and in the course.
It's
When two
also
or more gathered in my name, business. Yeah.
right. It's also the yogic and concept of a sangha, of a spiritual gathering.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but I think it can also backfire. Two or more gather in their assumption of the name of
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
Right. I mean,
We're
yeah.
just now we have a religion, and we've seen the mess that's gotten us into.
Mm, 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 mm.
So there has to be a purity of bringing when we gather
Yeah.
together,
And
because there's
honest.
power.
Yeah.
This is why witchcraft has a coven, because there's power in group manifestation.
hmm
But if we're manifesting a mess, you know, I don't want other people lending their mess to my mess. I got my hands
I
full with
hope
my
we're
own little
not
mess.
manifesting a mess.
Um,
Are we manifesting a mess?
we might be. 72 Blueberry says, "What does God mean to you?"
What does God mean to me? I would say creation.
I like that. Very succinct answer. Um, I would add one word. I would add my own word, and it very nicely coincides with your word, love, because only love creates.
I knew you were going to say that.
Okay. How does it make sense to refer to God as He? Seems limiting to an entity. It does, but God is not a he or a she, but it seems impersonal.
Do you want to hear a really feminist answer to that question?
Sure.
All right. So, in languages, you got, the male and female, and all things are either male or female, even if they have nothing to do with me, like a wall, a sofa, a pen, an eraser, a cup, Kleenex. Everything is masculine or feminine, and it bears no resemblance whatsoever, and all ideas as well. So everything's going to be masculine or feminine in Romantic languages, French, Spanish, Italian. So they don't have a neutral that they use. So everything's masculine or feminine. But a lot of the time they say that it's like they put more focus on the male. The male is used more often because they're giving the male attention to compensate, because he needs help to arrive at the point of the women's mind. It's like kids in school, they go to every grade from the very beginning, from preschool through university, and the guys are getting more attention. They just are. All subjects, male teachers, female teachers, feminine. But if you ask them, the teachers will go, yeah, that's true. But they're doing that because of compensation. They feel like they need the help. So that's my feminist answer. I look at it as, yes, it's a masculine, it's given a masculine pronoun, but it's just kind of a linguistical procedure, because the men, they need more help.
Okay. I like that. Me personally,
It's
I've
feminist.
always
Yeah.
I've always seen I've always had a particular affinity for the Sacred Mother, the Sacred Feminine.
Mhm.
And I've always seen God as more um, Shakti in yoga, but it's the coming together of Shakti and Shiva that makes the universe. Same
Mhm.
with the principles in Taoism.
Mhm.
But I love how Gary Renard explained it, that the course uses masculine language, but you don't have to. Actually, in Karina Zupko, a couple of weeks ago, maybe 2 months now, she mentioned how the language of the course is masculine, but the reception of those words to the page is feminine.
Yeah, you mentioned that the other day. That's true. Yeah.
And
I
I
was
do
just gonna add that in Hebrew, for example, there's a word Elohim. No, El is a word for God. And so, like, all those angel names like Michael, Samuel, Gabriel, Raphael, they all end in El, because that's meaning of God. No? So Elohim, Ohim would be like a plural, like your last name is McCarthy. McCarthyim. If I add im onto that, it's making like your family, all of the McCartys, or Websterim is my last name. So I'm adding im as a suffix. And so Elohim is a plural suffix to God, making it kind of participatory family. It doesn't indicate male or female.
Right. I was going to say to Blueberries, she was saying it's limiting. It's still limiting our thoughts whether we say he or she. God doesn't need a gender reference. The word would stand on its own. Agreed, but for sake of communication, with most other people, words are a necessary tool. I mean, again, this is why, of course, Miracle says we say God is, and then we fall silent, because anything that we say is not just a description; it's a false description.
The limiting things are not going to be outside of us. the limiting things are going to be our decision and our choice to have them be limiting. No?
Right.
If,
Sure.
if you want a workaround, you can find a workaround.
Right. I like that as well. It's it's like me calling my mom. She's not, she's my mother, and that can limit her. She was also a school teacher. She was a wife. She was a daughter. She was a sister. She was an infinite number of things. But for, for me to call her my father's wife was a bit awkward. So it was very convenient for me to say, Mom.
Yeah, I don't think of it as a limitation. I think of it as an extra gear.
Right. So Tiger King is asking several times if it is time for
Fishbowl.
the fishbowl.
It is time for the fishbowl. And you know who's going to be number one pick? Guess.
Let me guess.
Okay, you guess. Meanwhile, I'll
Elvis.
get the fishbowl.
Elvis Presley.
No, wrong.
Jerry Garcia. I can't imagine who. It would be then.
He's a very kind, sweet person named Tiger King. And he likes the fishbowl. And this is so perfect. Tiger King, your fishbowl pick says, "Fear not to look upon the lovely truth in you." So don't be afraid to look upon the lovely truth in you. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Tiger King says, "Thank you." Mustafa, my friend,
welcome.
how are you?
Hello, Mustafa. Hi, Chipmunk. I didn't see you there. Okay. I haven't been reading the comments. I tried to a little bit. Let's see.
What, guys? For those who don't know, who might not have been here before, we have a fishbowl of imperatives brought forth from MsBlipper. These are imperatives cut out of Course in Miracles, and she will pull one by request.
Okay, Tiger King just asked for an unpacking. So you're like the unpacking guy because you're like the YouTube video guy where they do unpacking videos. So this one's for you. Unpack it for us, please. Fear not to look upon the lovely truth in you.
Fear not, look upon the lovely truth in you. Well,
For Tiger King explanation.
that's how we have the world that we have right now, because we have we're unable to acknowledge the beauty, the truth of who we are. I love how Thomas Merton explained it, that if we could see ourselves the beauty we truly are, he supposed that the biggest trouble we'd have is that we would fall to our knees and worship of each other. But we're afraid to, because the gig is up.
Yeah, it's like
to
saying
see
courage. Have courage.
Right.
You know, have courage for something beautiful and lovely within you to see. Have courage that it's there. Don't be afraid of it.
Right. And the Tiger King, that's a huge thing to realize. And if you even got a glimpse of that, if you even could begin to realize that the reason why you are so beautiful is not because you are Tiger King, it's because you are an original creation, an idea right now in the mind of God, that you are absolute beauty beyond compare to anything else, because there is nothing else. Nothing else can even compare, because nothing else exists except for the beauty of Tiger King. But because we are under the false perception of being an ego, being small and insignificant, to look upon that beauty is the same reason why Moses could not look upon the burning bush.
Right.
we would go blind, meaning our ego would be incinerated and we would be left in the light of our existence.
God would not be complete without you. There you go. Somebody else asked for one here. Let's take a look.
Sniper had asked, but Sniper is very specific in his asking.
He is Sniper, who I call Chipmunk, because whatever he does to squirrels, he can't do to chipmunks. They're too quick and little.
Left hand and for the front.
From the front. Okay. Left hand it is. And from the front.
Mustafa says he is late for the stream, but sorry everyone, especially since MsBlipper is here, and I don't want to miss the chance to watch her because I love MsBlipper.
Oh, blessings. Thank you. Love you too. Thank you. That's so lovely to hear. All right, Chipmunk. It says, teach everyone that whatever he may try to do to you, your perfect freedom from the belief you can be harmed shows him that he is guiltless. Do you want me to run that by one more time, or did you get it? I can do it again.
Let's do it one more time. And then I want to answer a question from Evan, if he's still here. Is he still here, Evan? But let's hear it one more time.
All right. Teach everyone that whatever he may try to do to you, your perfect freedom from the belief that you can be harmed shows him that he is guiltless. So, the idea for Chipmunk is that he can be perfectly free from the belief that he can be harmed, and that will show anyone, no matter what they try to say to you, that they're without guilt.
Hold on to that idea.
Okay, I didn't throw it away. It's right here.
All right, because Evan says, when someone is being selfish and trying to distort your reality and belittling you, but is your boss, how do you deal with that with your super yoginess powers and positivity? And I think you just read the answer to him.
Yeah, you can be free from the belief that you can be harmed. Now, that's a very big idea, because it does kind of recognize that in your boss or whoever it is that we're talking about, that both within yourself and within that other person, there is a lighter being, an innocent being, a spiritual being, no? And so acknowledging that both in the other person and in yourself, and recognizing that that innocent being that you are cannot be harmed, has got your back, literally is protecting you. And if you show that, you put that foot forward, oh, I'm an innocent being, I can't really be harmed by this, then the other person can recognize, it's like an opportunity. They can recognize that they are without guilt as well. Does that make sense?
The question is, Evan, does that make sense to you? And,
Yeah.
Succinctly, we could say, where does your image reside? Where does your self-image reside? In your boss's mind, in your boss's thoughts, or in your own mind, your true mind, which is holy and only sees beauty, only sees light.
Yeah.
So if you relate to your boss's thoughts, if you allow your boss to define your self-image,
you're giving it away. Yeah.
Yep. But in order to see your own light, you also need to recognize that light within your boss. You ever seen Evan? I know you've seen the movie The Water Boy, when Henry Winkler was a coach and he was afraid of another coach until he came up with seeing that other coach, the face of a harmless baby. And every time he looked at that coach, he started smiling and giggling because he saw this giant baby head. If you look at your boss and see, despite the bluster and the blame and the what he's offering you, there is a divine light, and that divine light is there in order for you to see who you truly are. You see that light within your boss, so you see that light within yourself. Then
Also, if your boss is attached to being a schmuck, doesn't mean that you have to be attached to your boss being a schmuck. It's his problem.
Right. It all lies in his thoughts of you don't have to lie in your mind.
Right. And yeah. And your ideas of him don't need to rely, remain in your, you have a choice there too about what you're thinking about him.
Right.
See him as a big baby.
I don't know if you, Tiger King says, Eric, can my wife have one, please, with her right hand? And if you could stand up. You don't need to do acrobatics.
I'm not gonna, it doesn't worry me. Hold on. All right. Okay, with the right hand, I'm standing up. I gotta put the thing with the right hand. And this is Tiger King's wife. Somebody else asked for one in there too, but we'll So this
Did we
one
miss some?
says, I think we did miss somebody, but I gotta go back and look. It says, walk in light and do not see the dark companions, for they are not fit companions for the Son of God, who is created of light and in light, but deny them instead. For the light is here and the way is clear.
I think that can be directed towards Evan as well, for what we were just talking about. Very on point. It was our friend Ducky. He said if he could have one.
Absolutely. Ducky, next, coming up. Da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. Ducky, ducky, ducky imperative. One ripped. I like it. It says, live so as to demonstrate that you are not an ego. Pa.
Everything really does relate very much. If you are believing the thoughts that your boss is giving you, then you are living in such a way in which you believe you're an ego. But and this comes back to those 20 lessons that we were talking about. I am not a body, because each one begins and ends with, I am body, I am free, for I am so as God created me. Only a body can be limited to a definition as spirit. You can't be defined by someone else's viewpoint of who you are. King of the Earth says, a yogi, lovely. I have a simple question for you. As a yogi, you are devoted to the truth. The question is, Germany or Poland or Ukraine an island? Are they people, islanders? Yes or no?
So, Ukraine, Ireland, where else? I gotta look it up. Hold on.
Am I willing to say, I have no, actually, I'll be honest, I have no interest in the question whatsoever.
It's about geography.
Yep. So that's my answer, is I have zero interest in the question. OJ says, Tiger King, you have to super chat me if you want. You have to super chat if you want to tell them to do stuff.
I'm not sorry. I didn't understand that.
About the island?
Mm.
Yeah, I just didn't want to give it any thought.
It said something about Eastern Europe, but I don't really understand. It's just like these are like geographical lines. Okay. Man-made geographical lines. I don't know if we're so good at that.
Hey, Zed. Um,
What's with the Ashkenazi from these places got away with calling themselves islanders then? Ooh, don't know. I didn't hear Ashkenazis calling themselves islanders.
Thank you, Roger. Ace. I'm just going to go with that. I can't explain anything, nor do I attempt to. I like that, Blueberries.
Are you talking about his boss topic suggestion?
Yes. Sure says, I think we're running off topic in chat. Yes. As we often do. Hey, Star
It
Seeker.
happens. Star
And
Seeker, hello, dear.
we will steer our way back to topic because I got to end the stream in about 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
So anyone here who has not had an imperative, got it here, sitting in MsBlipper's lap.
Yeah.
She's all warmed up.
I might like do a marathon. I think I discussed that, where I was just gonna like maybe I'll start off the new year just reading imperative after imperative after imperative until the bowl's empty.
Star Seeker just sent 5 gift memberships. What a lovely gesture. Toy Pups.
Really?
Received one.
True.
Big Up Shady. Love Big Up Shady. Weezart, a new friend. Got one. And City Show. Got one.
Perfect.
Thank
so
you so
lovely.
much.
Very nice. Very kind.
Very kind. And many fish strolls received. Kat says, thanks, Star Seeker. Hey, Kat, did you want an imperative?
You don't have to be religious to understand that people who lied about where they came from cannot be trusted about who they claim to be. I don't think we're just not going to get into a whole bunch of like prejudice here about all that.
Yeah, I'm just not. It's hey, King of the Earth. Very much interested in you, and nothing but love, but zero interest in the question itself. It steers in a direction that I have no knowledge, no interest, no nothing. I have nothing to give, nothing to suggest, nothing to offer. So instead of like speculating and getting drawn into speculation, I'd rather get back into the fishbowl, imperatives, creation, love. Oh, which reminds me, because 72 Blueberries, way, way, way up the top, had mentioned only love creates as a question, because I had said that and you had agreed. And I thought we'd backtrack on that a little bit because only love creates. But then we look around and we think, but look at all the stuff that's been created that's not very loving.
Well, that's a beautiful question. And somewhere else in the course it says to make a distinction between what is created and what is made. And the ego makes, it doesn't create, but it makes. But we can fall in love with things because we make them. We made them. We made the ego. And we can even love the ego because we made it, but it can't. Um, re- it can only replace God in our minds. It can't replace God in truth.
There you go. I like that very much. Dispassionate observer. He'd asked me what my sadhana looks like, and I said it's extensive yet simple. I've outlined it quite a bit. Up very early in the morning. I started with gratitude. I do my breath work, and I combine. Nowadays, I combine my meditation practice with my coursework, and then I do my yoga asana practice, writing, which I consider writing part of my yoga, as I consider walking. Breath work 3 times a day, meditation twice, sometimes 3 times a day. And then, practice is very subtle nowadays. I love how, no one has to know that you're forgiving. No one has to know that you're walking through life, forgiving 24/7. Blueberries wants to know, what is the ego? Hey, color your life.
That's a good question. I would say the ego is the idea that we're separate from God. And whatever, ideas, wherever that idea goes.
Right. The only thing I would add to that, I love the ego is a belief that is the idea that we are separate from God, and gives us a place where we believe that we are safe from the judgment of God. Of course, God doesn't judge, uh, but uh, we believe that ego has created this little isle of safety and exclusion, and that here I reside, safe.
Yeah, you could say misperception. That's another way of looking at it.
Right. Misperception.
Is that Lady Sky? I think I saw Lady Sky for a brief moment. I was in Sissy's Soul Stars room, and I think she came in, Lady Sky, and said hello, but I was like half asleep and I didn't have time to like get back to her. Anyway, hi, Lady Sky, dear.
Oh, Tiger King says he was only joking about you standing up. You
Oh,
don't have to if you didn't. Sorry if you didn't want to.
no worries. No worries whatsoever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You had asked about my diet. Yes, I'm vegan, plant-based. Um, and you do have to whole food plant-based. You do have to sort of make that distinction, because you could easily these days be a junk food vegan and get all your calories.
Right.
But I am whole food vegan. Nothing, only one little thing that has a wrapper, but everything else is just,
So
you know,
lentils and potatoes and oatmeal kind of guy
yep, lots of
with
fruit.
a lot of pancakes.
I wish. There's a great love of pancakes, but they don't come my way too often.
He's like a pancake wannabe.
Pancake wannabe. It used to be back in the day, it was a weekly occurrence. And I have an entire Instagram account set up to almost nothing but photos of pancakes, pancake of the day.
Uh,
Go ahead.
no, my father used to make pancakes every Sunday. It was like a dad deal. But the funniest one that I ever saw was my brother had a dog named Mookie, and Mookie passed away. And then one day, my brother, Eric is his name, made blueberry pancakes, and one of the pancakes just quite completely by accident looked exactly like his dog Mookie. I mean, it was like his face and everything, his ears, his eyes, his nose, but it wasn't deliberate. It just like Mookie came out in the pancake, kind of like Jesus Christ comes out in toast, you know.
Yeah, or tortilla.
Hmm.
Dispassionate observer says, is veganism necessary, a necessity for yoga? And it's a good question. You know, there's the yogic diet, which was vegetarian, but this was back in the day when animals were treated with great care and great respect.
Right.
If you are practicing the yamas, which is the beginning of the ethical restraints found in yoga, the very first one is ahimsa, which is non-harm. Now, if you take non-harm to its logical conclusion, then, well, if you took it all the way, you would be Jain. You would wear the mask to keep from breathing in bugs. You would sweeping the ground before you. But for practicality reasons, most people aren't going to be Jains. We're not going to take it to that extreme. But to the extreme that we can, and practical means of navigating through life, it would be a vegan diet nowadays that we're practicing non-harm. But what I loved about the yamas and the niyamas, the restraints and the observations, is you got to see how deep you can take it. If I change my diet, but I don't change my thoughts towards myself or towards people, I'm
Right.
practicing harm. I'm harming
Right.
myself. I'm harming others.
Yeah.
So you got to take a holistic approach, and you have to do the best that you can. You know, I love Kenneth Wapnick's description of a good course student is a bad course student who forgives himself. It's the same with good yogi is someone who's just sincere in the practice of yoga and does the best that they can.
Hi, Parajat. Somebody just played 72 blueberries, just gave you a humongous compliment. They said they
About
can't think about a pancake without thinking about you. I mean, just think, how you've gone into the, depths of people's existence. They think about pancakes and there you are.
um,
Amazing. Amazing. It's like my fishbowl.
yeah, for a long time I basically used social media to share my love of pancakes. Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
See?
That's all it
Love,
was.
how love travels, it inspires. Hello, Parjat again, Ja. Say hi. Okay. Oh, Tiger King is asking Chipmunk if he does pancakes. Can we take bets? What do you call those things that you do?
Oh, the poll. Do a
Yeah, the
poll.
poll,
If Sniper
does
eats pancakes,
does Chipmunk make pancakes? Yes or no? I
I'm
know
going to
how I'm
say
gonna
that
vote.
he does not eat pancakes, but he would be more than happy to make pancakes for his beloved children.
I'm sure he's made pancakes before.
Sherry says she's never hungry, and now I am for pancakes. I'm
See,
always
I
hungry for
know it's
pancakes.
like it's like the pancake curse. This chat is a pancake curse. Oh wow, pranayama on the daily basis, very good, Parajat. That's excellent news.
What
Who
was that?
got dog?
Oh, awesome, Persia, awesome.
Starseeker gets my junk, my junk, chipmunk.
Persia, let us know what you're doing. Uh, I highly recommend. This is how I was taught to teach it, and this is I actually taught with you. Uh,
Mhm.
3 times a day and therapeutically as needed. You have a practice for waking and for energy. You have a practice to help you stay calm and even keeled for the day. And then you have a sleep hygiene practice. Um,
Plug in my little machine here.
This is actually how MsBlipper and I first met.
Yep. True story.
Now I met 72 Blueberries and the Deepak Chopra Forum in probably 2000.
Wow, cool.
And yep, and we met up in Canada. And she's been a wonderful. We've written stuff together. She's been a constant source of love and inspiration in my life since we first met. A long time.
Chipmunk has answered. I make my own hash pancakes. Now, by hash, you mean like
Yeah.
potato hash, like potato pancakes?
No,
Is that
he
what
does
he's
not mean
talking
that.
about? No, he
No.
means hash, like the kind you.
Yes,
Like that kind of hash? Okay.
he does.
Because there is something called potato pancakes, you know.
Right. Dispassionate Observer says he was born in 68. Would know when we were born.
Ooh, I'm older than everybody in this room. I'll just leave it at that.
I don't know.
I'm older than Yogi.
Mustafa is older than both of us.
Really?
Yep. But he has such a young and loving heart.
Yeah. And then we got people's grannies come in here. Like I know other people's moms have come in here.
Right. Yep. I was born in 65.
I was born in 61.
Some consider 1965 to be the greatest year in music.
I can go with that.
Bob Dylan went electric.
Were the Doors already on the plate?
Doors were just getting started. Yep.
Okay.
John Coltrane came out with Love Supreme.
Mm-hmm.
The Beatles released Help and had Yep, and they just smoked pot with Bob Dylan, and they're getting ready to release Rubber Soul, 1966. It's actually composed in 65, but released in 66.
Mm-hmm.
Rubber Soul changed the entire nature of music because the Beatles went from Help started it, but the Beatles went from a fun rock and roll band, Twist and Shout, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Love Me Do,
Mm-hmm.
to Norwegian Woods.
Right.
You know, that they went psychedelic. Let's see. Tiger King, MsBlipper, 21 years old.
Tiger King's 21?
No. He says that you are a 21-year-old. You are a 21-year-old in heart and in beauty.
Aw, very kind.
Some people also say 1971 was a great year. But it's commonly that 1984 might have been the best year in pop ever. With Born in the USA, Thriller was still hitting the charts. Prince came out with Party Like It's 1999. Well, no, Prince came out with
Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Yep. There was a pop album from Duran Duran. Madonna came out with I believe her debut album. So yeah, 84. That was a good year. Advita, yes, Dispassionate Observer.
I must say today when I was on my walk in the park, had headphones on, and I don't know what I got an earworm. An earworm is when you get a song that's just stuck in your head and you don't know why or where it came, and it just doesn't go away. And it was just like you're gonna have this song in your head until you play it. So actually playing the song, and it will not by playing, I mean listening to it, will help me change my brain so that I don't hear it calling for me anymore. And so the song was blue, blue, do 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 do, dun da 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 da. Anyway, So I played it, but it was on a song list of all these other songs that were really old, like older than my time with music. But I must say that I really liked it, and that when like YouTube and Spotify put like what they estimate my age is according to the music, that the robot thinks that I'm like in my late 70s according to the music I listen to.
That's probably for me too.
Yeah.
It would be maybe even older.
Mm.
Good day, Star Seekers. Star Seekers, thank you so much. I got to wrap things up too. We'll be back at 5:25. Thank you you came in and saved the day. You swooped in and you saved my live stream.
For
I
me,
just
it
very
was
much
all
appreciate
about
it.
the holy instant. So we'll see you next week, guys, I guess. So holy instant to you all. Have fun. Yeah, I guess next year. Next week will be 26, right?
Yep.
There we go. Have a happy new year then, everybody.
You too.
Blessings.
Um,
Thank you, Tiger King. That's a lovely message.
yep. Hey, Burks Outdoor, my friend. Thank you. Thank everyone, guys. Again, I'll be back 5:25. No guests. We're just gonna hang out. It'll be fun. I
All
hope.
right.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye, dears.
Bye.